Hello everyone, this is Goosebumps Godzilla, and today I'm going to be talking about the Lawn Gnomes from Revenge of the Lawn Gnomes. Now these Lawn Gnomes are robots, and are not actually the real Lawn Gnomes that we see in the book, The Planet of the Lawn Gnomes from the Goosebumps Most Wanted series. So viewer beware, you're in for a scare, and let's get started. Before I go farther into this theory, I just want to say that there are going to be spoilers for Revenge of the Lawn Gnomes, Planet of the Lawn Gnomes, and very, very, very minor spoilers for My Friend Slappy. So if you've not read any of those three books, I'd strongly advise you not to watch this video. But if you haven't read My Friend Slappy, it won't totally ruin the book. I'm just going to be discussing mainly the twist ending. So it's not really the huge part of the book, which is Slappy. So anyway, guys, let's get into this theory for today. Okay, so in Planet of the Lawn Gnomes, we are introduced to a very different kind of Lawn Gnomes than in the Revenge of the Lawn Gnomes. So basically, in the book, there's our main protagonist, who is a troublemaker, supposedly, and just, yeah, that's pretty much his character. Anyway, he moves to this new neighborhood, and you know, he sees lawn gnomes at every house in this neighborhood. And everyone thinks and then the lawn gnomes start coming to life, everyone thinks he's crazy. And so yeah, this whole book's sort of a mystery. It's pretty entertaining. I didn't really like the book that much, because I was mainly confused with the ending, which I'm going to talk about in just a minute. But overall, it was okay. It wasn't special. I liked the mystery-ish aspect to it. I liked how it was sort of similar to Beware the Snowman, but it was fine. So anyways, the kid tries to prove to everyone that the lawn gnomes are alive. But anyway, the big twist of the book is that his whole past life and everything was just like a malfunction, because supposedly this whole planet is called the Planet of the Lawn Gnomes. And the Lawn Gnomes can only come out during the night. They cannot come out in sunlight. And they built robots to take care of the planet during the day when they are asleep. These guys are not mischievous. And, you know, they just are pretty normal aliens, I guess you could say. Yeah, that's all there really are to it. They live in this area, and also the main character, who thought he lives on Earth, but really lives on the Planet of the Lawn Gnomes, and they told him that Earth was made up. Doesn't exist. Anyway, so the main protagonist thinks everything's normal. He remembers his real name. He remembers he's a robot made by the Lawn Gnomes. So anyway, he goes to his room, and then he encounters his dog. Forgot his name. And the dog says that they have to go to Earth. And so that's how sort of the book ends. So according to the Lawn Gnomes, Earth is a made-up place. And then, in the next book about the Lawn Gnomes, well, it's actually the earlier book. I would say this is a prequel to Revenge of the Lawn Gnomes, because this theory could perfectly explain the differences between the Lawn Gnomes in Planet of the Lawn Gnomes and the Lawn Gnomes in Revenge of the Lawn Gnomes. Because you see, there are hundreds of differences. So, first off, the design. So the Tim Jacobus design of the Lawn Gnomes features, you know, shorter hats, more human-like appearance, not altogether. They look more like apes, I would say, and all this stuff, and that's the Lawn Gnomes. And then we see the Lawn Gnomes in Planet of the Lawn Gnomes. And these guys are a lot different. This could be just the artistic style of Brandon Dorman and the Tim Jacobus' style for the Lawn Gnomes, but the Lawn Gnomes in this cover art look more like zombies, sort of. Zombie gnomes. And they have pointy hats, and, you know, their appearance is very, very, very much different than the ones in Revenge of the Lawn Gnomes. There's huge, obvious differences. So it's not very that likely that they're the same. Also, in the book, you can see huge differences as well. In Revenge of the Lawn Gnomes can actually go out in the light. They can go about, do whatever they want. But in Planet of the Lawn Gnomes cannot go out in the light. They just can't. And never can. And also that the Planet of the Lawn Gnomes, people said Earth didn't exist. Then you see the Lawn Gnomes here on Earth, and they obviously know it exists, and kind of make it out like they're not from another planet and they're sort of native here. That sort of contradicts my theory for today, so I'm not going to talk about that too much. But anyway, so it's just strange, all these differences. The weaknesses, the personality, the looks. Oh yeah, and also these Lawn Gnomes, as I said before, are not mischievous. But also in Revenge of the Lawn Gnomes, these guys live off of mischief. That's their whole motivation in the Revenge of the Lawn Gnomes, is they're mischievous. They can't help it, I guess. So this obviously means that the Lawn Gnomes, I would say, are definitely different. But why are they different? We get the intelligent Lawn Gnomes, and then we get these Lawn Gnomes who look obviously different, obviously are not intelligent enough to make robots, and are mischievous, and they can go out in the light. It's so strange, the differences. And so I think that these Lawn Gnomes are actually the robots created by the Lawn Gnomes in Planet of the Lawn Gnomes. And one of these Lawn Gnomes is actually the main protagonist in Planet of the Lawn Gnomes. Because just think about it. So the Lawn Gnomes in Planet of the Lawn Gnomes created robots. And if I had my bet, would probably, have similar appearances as them. I mean, this is not a great example, but in robots today, most robots are designed to look sort of like humans. And so it could be the same case with the Planet of the Lawn Gnomes people, or this could be a disguise made by main protagonist in the book, because he does say he's a troublemaker, even though I guess he's technically not. But also, his dog. His dog probably made him go to Earth, and this could be a disguise. I'm not really sure, but that dog is very, very strange. I think he has something huge to do with this. And so, he took some other people, robots created by the Lawn Gnomes, to Earth. And, yeah, that's what happens in Revenge of the Lawn Gnomes. They come to Earth, they're picked up to Lawn Lovely, and that's how the events of the Revenge of the Lawn Gnomes unfolds. I know this kind of sounds crazy, but there is evidence to prove that the dog in the Planet of the Lawn Gnomes came to Earth, and so this would probably mean that the main protagonist and maybe possibly other Lawn Gnomes came to Earth along with the dog, because we can see in the book My Friend Slappy. So in My Friend Slappy, this whole Slappy ordeal takes place. Not going to talk about that, but in the twist ending, the dog talks. The main protagonist dog actually talks. It's kind of strange. It's a very, very odd twist ending. But it's so similar to Planet of the Lawn Gnomes. How come the dog talked in My Friend Slappy? That would possibly mean that the dog in Planet of the Lawn Gnomes just possibly, made it to Earth, and that's where he is in My Friend Slappy. Because it's so odd that they both have talking dogs, and they must be the same or very, very similar. And also another weird thing to note is that in Revenge of the Lawn Gnomes are pretty much doing the same thing that the dog did in the book. So the main protagonist in the Revenge of the Lawn Gnomes had a dog named Buster. And so Buster would wreck the neighbor's yard, the neighbor would get really, really mad, and all this, and then we see in the Revenge of the Lawn Gnomes are carrying out that task. They're doing the same thing that the dog is doing, wrecking the garden. And so this could mean that the dog Buster. He's actually an intelligent dog, like in My Friend Slappy and Planet of the Lawn Gnomes. They could be different. I'm not really sure. But it's kind of strange that they follow and do the same thing as the dog in Revenge of the Lawn Gnomes, except to a much greater extent. And as I said before, the main protagonist in Planet of the Lawn Gnomes was a troublemaker. The Lawn Gnomes in Revenge of the Lawn Gnomes were troublemakers. But anyway, guys, that is my theory for today. It was slightly a little crazy, but I think it kind of makes sense because of My Friend Floppy with that talking dog thing. And also the fact that the Lawn Gnomes do the same thing as the dog. And anyway, guys, that's the end of my theory. I hope you guys enjoyed, and that is the end of my video.